Welcome to Star Files News. Today, we're talking about Sarah Ferguson and the extraordinary situation she now finds herself in.
Well, this is a really interesting point. So Sarah Ferguson has closed down 6 businesses. A lot of them owe money, or a lot of them just had £1, for a shareholder. We don't know where she is. We've been trying to find Sarah for a while. She appears to be she's in hiding. And I do have, she should be. If Andrew's going to be questioned, then why isn't Sarah? Because she appears to be implicated in these Epstein files. She's not in the royal bubble anymore. She doesn't live with a royal. She's lost her Duchess of York title. Will 2026 get better or worse? Are we still seeing doom for the couple, or what?
It's going to get worse.
It's going to get worse.
We haven't reached rock bottom yet.
Okay.
But first, if you're enjoying this content, please take a moment to subscribe to Star Files News and help us reach 1,000 subscribers. Every single subscription means the world to us. Now, this is a really interesting point. Sarah Ferguson has closed down 6 businesses. A lot of them owe money, or a lot of them just had £1 as shareholder value. We don't know where she is. We've been trying to find Sarah for a while. She appears to be in hiding. And I do have to say, if Andrew is going to be questioned, then why isn't Sarah? Because she appears to be implicated in the Epstein files. She's no longer in the royal bubble. She doesn't live with a royal. She's lost her Duchess of York title. Does 2026 get better or worse? Are we still seeing doom for the couple? It's going to get worse. We haven't reached rock bottom yet. This is the story of a woman who once entered Westminster Abbey as a radiant royal bride, but who now confronts potential bankruptcy while harboring decades of crown secrets. And according to those monitoring her predicament, she has increasingly compelling motivations to reveal them. Royal correspondent Samra Gill delivered a stark assessment on the Sun's Royal Exclusive program in February 2026, her statement reverberating like a shot across the bow. Sarah Ferguson possesses intimate knowledge of the family's darkest secrets. She understands exactly where the most damaging information lies hidden. And should her financial desperation reach a breaking point, she will undoubtedly auction those revelations to whoever offers the most lucrative deal. To understand how the Duchess arrived at this crossroads, we need to examine her current circumstances, because her present situation tells the entire story. September 16, 2025 marks the final verified public sighting of Sarah Ferguson, when she appeared at Catherine, Duchess of Kent's memorial service. Since that date, complete silence. 0 public engagements, 0 media interviews, 0 official communications. Intelligence suggests she retreated to the United Arab Emirates, where associates indicate she sought refuge to collect herself as pressure intensified from all directions. Meanwhile, back in Britain, that pressure reached a crushing crescendo. During a remarkable 72-hour period in February 2026, half a dozen enterprises listing Ferguson as primary executive simultaneously submitted closure documentation to the UK's corporate registry. The rapid succession proved telling. Phoenix Events Limited, handling public relations and corporate communications, dissolved first on February 13th. Then 5 additional entities followed on February 16th. Philosanthian Limited, which had operated successfully for more than 10 years, Fergus Farm Limited, with approximately 12 years of operations, Luna Investments Limited, Solomoni Limited, and Planet Partners Productions Limited. 6 businesses gone in 72 hours. Sarah's Trust, the charitable foundation Ferguson established in 2020 to support disadvantaged women and children worldwide, also declared an indefinite suspension of all activities. The organization had collaborated with over 60 charitable institutions spanning 20 nations, providing educational programs, medical services, and emergency assistance. Royal analyst Margaret Holder observed this systematic dismantling and characterized it, with notable lack of compassion, as an inferno consuming Fergie's pretensions. The catalyst for this comprehensive collapse originated on January 30, 2026, when the United States Department of Justice unveiled additional documentation from the Jeffrey Epstein investigatory files. The contents of those records fundamentally contradicted Ferguson's camp's long-standing narrative. Her representatives had consistently claimed that Ferguson severed all connections with Epstein immediately upon learning the full scope of his criminal activities. Yet the official documents painted an entirely different picture. The records indicate Ferguson traveled to meet Epstein at his Miami residence merely 5 days following his release from incarceration in 2009, after he completed 13 months of his 18-month sentence for procuring underage prostitutes. Several months after that reunion, in August 2009, she allegedly composed correspondence describing him as the sibling she had eternally desired. By January 2010, the tone of her written communications had grown considerably more intimate, with Ferguson purportedly declaring, "You are absolutely legendary. I genuinely lack adequate vocabulary to express my affection, my appreciation for your extraordinary generosity and compassion. I remain completely devoted to you. Simply propose marriage to me." What makes those sentiments particularly damning is their chronological context. By March 2011, when Epstein voiced complaints to her regarding a newspaper report identifying him as a child predator, Ferguson allegedly conveyed profound remorse about their relationship. Then in September 2011, months after publicly proclaiming she would maintain zero future contact with Jeffrey Epstein under any circumstances, she apparently initiated contact with him again, expressing disappointment that he had failed to maintain communication. An additional electronic message from 2011, in which Ferguson characterized Epstein as an extraordinary confidant, triggered charitable organizations to terminate their associations with her. Teenage Cancer Trust revoked her patronage immediately. Julia's House Children's Hospice declared unequivocally that her continued involvement would constitute an inappropriate arrangement. Ferguson's representatives provided clarification, claiming the correspondence had been composed on the advice of legal counsel after Epstein issued defamation lawsuit threats. However, the reputational destruction had already extended far beyond any spokesperson's damage control capabilities. One crucial point deserves emphasis throughout this discussion. Identification in the Epstein documentation carries zero legal presumption of criminal involvement, and numerous reputable news organizations reported this distinction explicitly. Nevertheless, from a public perception standpoint, the consequences have proven devastating. None of these factors alter the strategic assessment Samra Gill presented on the Sun's Royal exclusive broadcast in February. The mathematics remains relatively straightforward. Ferguson has forfeited her Royal Lodge residence. Cohabitation with Andrew presents no viable solution. Her daughters married financially successful men, theoretically providing temporary accommodation, but Gill's analysis pointed towards different geography. The Middle Eastern region, where Ferguson allegedly currently resides, is where Gill anticipates the financial resources and lifestyle comfort exist. Royal biographer Andrew Lowney, author of a Ferguson biography, concurred that Britain offers nothing remaining for either of them, stating that within British society, neither Sarah nor Andrew will achieve social rehabilitation regardless of their efforts. However, in Middle Eastern territories, their previous controversies will generate zero concern. Lowney described an extensive network of monarchy members, political figures, and business leaders prepared to provide financial backing for both individuals. Back in the United Kingdom, Andrew has achieved retirement eligibility and reportedly qualifies for government pension benefits totaling approximately £7,000 annually from his Royal Navy service years. Lowney's evaluation suggests Ferguson's financial requirements run considerably deeper and demand far more immediate attention than Andrew's circumstances. Intelligence from November 2025 disclosed that Ferguson's personal advisors had privately evaluated whether an unrestricted tell-all television appearance might generate the necessary revenue streams. No such interview has emerged as of February 2026. However, American television executives, reportedly including Oprah Winfrey, who previously conducted Ferguson interviews, remain prepared to proceed immediately upon her authorization. The royal establishment appears acutely conscious of this threat. An insider informed the Royal Observer of serious concerns about her potentially acting independently and making statements that could generate significant embarrassment for King Charles, Queen Camilla, or other family members. Ferguson's prospects for reconciliation with senior royals appear equally foreclosed. Another source provided a direct assessment, stating that William has communicated unambiguously to everyone, including Camilla, that Sarah remains completely unwelcome and that he refuses to encounter her presence under any future circumstances. This is where the complete narrative trajectory concludes. Sarah Ferguson entered Westminster Abbey in July 1986 as a royal bride. Throughout the 30 years following her 1996 divorce, she maneuvered through the complex territory of maintaining crown connections without enjoying royal protection. that delicate arrangement demanded a very particular form of discretion, and for 30 years she substantially honored that understanding. Currently, at 66 years old, with her commercial enterprises dissolved, her charitable foundation shuttered, her residence forfeited, her medical challenges behind her, and her public standing under unprecedented strain, that careful discretion has become increasingly difficult to rationalize economically. The woman possessing intimate knowledge of royal family secrets has diminishing incentives to keep those revelations secured. Whether she chooses disclosure remains undetermined. What has already become evident is that palace occupants are monitoring this possibility with extreme vigilance, and they're experiencing considerable anxiety about what could come next.